Congratulations! You are now a permanent resident of Canada. Mimi ni permanent. Somebody wake me up. Am I dreaming? Oh, permanent resident. Start celebrating, you guys. Start celebrating. This is where the mood changes. I don't know where to start. I do not know where to start, you guys. I feel like starting by crying, you guys, but I don't want to cry because this is supposed to be a happy video. I have here my tea. In 2018, I was traveling. I was traveling a bit and I was enjoying my travels. Mostly it was to South Africa. I went to South Africa like almost twice, and then I went to Rwanda. I wanted to go to Burundi, but not Burundi, Congo, but I was discouraged. But majorly those, and then I was traveling mostly also in Europe. So while traveling, I just got an idea like, whoa, let's move to a different country. Why not? So that's where this idea of moving to Canada began. And yeah, fast forward, I'm here. I really wanted 2 years because it's not too long. And it's also like enough for me to get a feel of Canada and see if I want to stay or not. Okay. So my intention to come here was not to stay actually. It was to come, experience a new culture, you know, live where nobody knows you and make new friends and, you know, that kind of stuff. And then if I don't like it or if I'm not allowed or whatever happens, I would go back to my country. So, let me grab a lip balm, you guys, so that if I'm crying, I'm cute. So the process began in 2018. I applied for student permit because that was what was making sense the most. I would have applied for visiting visa, but that was only going to let me stay for 6 months. But I felt like 6 months was not enough for me to have a feel of a new place and like decide to stay. Plus, I didn't want the hassle of coming here as a visitor and, you know, with all the limitations, you can't work, you can't do anything. You know, it was not going to give me a feel of how the locals are and like if I can't fit into this society. So that's why I went for a student permit. And this student permit also had a possibility of me getting a work permit after graduation. So Canada was just appealing to me then. And if I didn't like it, then I could go back to my country and continue with my job. So I'm also lucky, I must say that I was lucky then because I had an option of taking a study leave from my previous employer to come and study and then, you know, I can go back. So that was nice to have. So I came to Canada. Of course, the application process took time. I started in 2018 around August, I think. August, that's when I made a submission to the university I was going to. And then they took about 6 to 8 weeks before getting to me. And then, you know, the back and forth communication. And then I submitted my application in November. I was supposed to start school in January, but because I submitted my application for study permit with the Embassy of Canada in Kenya on November, it was too late. I thought it would be enough time for me to get the study permit and make it in time to come start my studies in January. However, God had different plans and my study permit processing took longer than I anticipated, and I had to defer to the next year in September because the next intake for my course would only be in September. So they deferred me to September while my study permit was still processing. If you have been here long enough, I've done a video on how my past TB affected my immigration to Canada. So that TB left a scar in my lungs, and so whenever they do an x-ray, that TB will always show. And so that delayed my processing, my medical processing by about 3 months. Fast forward on April 1st. I remember that because it was on a Saturday. If you remember, April 1st of 2019, it was on a Saturday. I remember that day because at 6 a.m. I got an email from the Embassy of Canada. That morning, Saturday morning, April 1st, I don't know, instincts usually, like, most of the times they are correct. And usually on a Saturday also, I would not even wake up at 6 a.m. But for some reason, I was up at 6 a.m. And for some reason, I checked my email. And for some reason, I had that email at 6 a.m. It arrived at 6 a.m., you guys. I'm going to show you that email on the screen because I have all that documentation. I got that email from IRCC telling me that your application to study in Canada has been approved. Yay! You guys, I jumped off my bed and I was yelling, I was shouting, I was celebrating. My mom was there with me. Thank goodness my mom was there to celebrate with me. I just called her names like, Mom, it has been approved. And I was jumping all over the place. I was the happiest person on earth. So I came to Canada, and of course, being a student, I studied, worked hard, graduated, now working. Along the way, there was an opportunity to apply for permanent residency while I was still a student, and I did. And I know you must have watched that video of how my permanent resident got rejected. Yeah, it was so devastating. Anyways, sometimes we have to cope. We have to take the lemons that life throws at us and make a lemonade with those lemons. And so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend as if that was not hard. It was hard, it was disappointing, it was humiliating, it was heartbreaking, for sure. That's the most heartbroken I've ever been. And it feels like all the hard work that you've been putting in is just all gone to the drain. It doesn't feel right. So I had my share of, downfalls here in Canada. There were moments where I was the happiest. I've made so many good friends, family here in Canada that I wouldn't change for anything. I've gotten experiences here that I wouldn't change for anything. So yeah, I've had a good time. I've really had a good time. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And literally when I had my PR rejection, that's when I realized how hard, how tough I am. And being able to overcome was a major breakthrough in my life. So there's a time I moved to Alberta. I know I'm all over the place, but there's a time I moved to Alberta. That was when my PR was still being processed. And so I moved to Alberta and I was only there for 2 months. And after those 2 months, that's when I got the denial letter from IRCC and I had to come back to British Columbia. I mean, I didn't have to come back, but coming back would make my life more easier in terms of trying to reapply for a PR. So I had to move back to British Columbia. And sometimes I say that, you know what, things happen for a reason. I probably might have not thought through the process of moving to Alberta, but I'm not living in regrets. I'm not even regretting the fact that I went to Alberta. It was the most eye-opening. I loved Alberta, other than it's too cold. I loved staying there, and I also wouldn't give up my experiences there for anything. And so I'm just spontaneous that way, and that's just how it is with being spontaneous. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. And I just took that as a loss and moved on. So I came back to BC and continued with my work, what I was doing here in Canada, and at the same place. So I was so lucky that they took me back, and yeah, I was doing the same thing. So that was in mid of December of 2022 when I came back to BC. So, you know, I worked hard, saved money. I didn't have money then. I really was broke. So I saved money. I worked hard night and day. Saved money until June of 2023. That was last year. So June 2023, it would be 1 year post-graduation work. So that means I had worked for exactly 1 year since I graduated and got my work permit. So I graduated in 2022, May, and then I went for my Europe tour and then came back and then went to Alberta and then came back to BC in December. And then May of 2023, that was a whole year of work experience after graduation. The reason why I'm saying that is that there's a pathway called CEC, which is how do you call it, Canadian experience class. So yeah, so mostly international students who come here, they study and then they work 1 year and then they are eligible to apply for permanent residency through CEC. Even those who come here as workers, as long as they've worked for 1 year, they can apply for express entry, skilled worker stream, CEC, that is Canadian experience class. So in June of 2023, I had qualified to apply for residence permit. And remember, my first attempt had been denied, but I was also still in college by the time I submitted that application. So now I was taking my second shot at applying for PR. I created my profile just before June, that is May 23rd. And then the first week of June, that was the first express entry draw that I was going to participate in, and I had qualified. And so immediately I got an invitation to apply for permanent residency. So on June 9th, that's when I submitted my application for permanent residency. On May 23rd, I created a profile for express entry. So first step is you create a profile for express entry. Based on that profile, you're going to be awarded points, and based on those points, it will determine if you actually meet the minimum points in that draw, which I had met. So immediately they sent me an ITA to apply for permanent residency under CEC. And I submitted my application on June 9th of 2023. There was a big silence until 30th August. I got a notification that I had passed my medical exam. So that was good. At least they were working on it. And then on 1st of September, I got a notification that I needed to submit more documentation. So I'm going to show you that on the screen. So it was an additional documentation. So they sent me a form that I downloaded, filled up, and immediately sent it back to IRCC. And then there was a silence until October, I think. Yeah, October about 17th or 18th or 19th. Between the 17th and 19th, I got an email from IRCC that I need to, I think it's called Fast Portal, that I need to fill in my personal information and send it back to IRCC. So it's just a document that you enter your name, your personal details, your eye color. If you have dependents, you write their eye color, their personal details. Also, you confirm that you are within Canada, etc., etc. So I did that and submitted immediately on the same day. And then on October 26th, I got an email that a portal has been created for me where I need to confirm that I'm in Canada, and also I need to send my Canadian address there, and also submit a passport sized photograph So I did that. I went to the portal, I logged in and did all that shenanigans, and then I submitted. After the 26th, when I got this email, either the 25th or 26th, I think it's the 26th, there was a long silence. So 19th of January 2024, I got this email, you guys. If you get an email from IRCC and it starts with Felicitación or congratulations, hey, start celebrating, you guys. Start celebrating. This is where the mood changes completely, like a 360. Oh my goodness. Felicitación. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but congratulations. You are now a permanent resident of Canada. Oh my goodness. You are now a permanent resident of Canada. Congratulations. Welcome to Canada. Oh my God. This is when you don't know whether you want to cry. You don't know whether to cry or celebrate. You just have mixed of emotions. You know, that moment is so surreal. You're now a permanent resident. You're now a permanent resident. You see, I knew it was coming based on the Portal 1 and Portal 2 confirmation that I was getting. That is basically, it has been approved, except you're waiting for the final document, which I got on January 15. You guys, and especially after a rejection, you guys have no idea. You guys have no idea. I don't know how it changed from being rejected to being accepted. Like, I don't know where that switch happened. And I'm so grateful that I did not give up. I'm so grateful that even after my rejection, I kept pushing. I kept going, and I had the strength in me not to give up and to apply again. You can imagine if I had stopped and Canada, I'm going back home. And in this life, it has taught me that good things, they don't just happen. You have to fight and don't give up, because the people who win are the people who keep pushing. They're fallen over and over and over, but they still keep pushing. And I don't know if my heart was going to be able to take it if it was denied again. I have no idea. But I gave it my all. And I said, God, this is my second attempt. Please. I cannot take it. Please. You guys, I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying. I just... It's overwhelming. It really is. I'm not sad. I'm happy. And it's just too much overwhelming. Guys, we did it. We made it. This has been the goal. After I had decided to stay in Canada, this was the goal. I had decided that the goal is to become a permanent resident and eventually a citizen. And now we are. I'm a permanent resident of Canada, you guys. We are permanent. Mimi ni permanent. Guys, I don't know why I'm crying. I should be happy. I don't know why I'm crying, but I'm just overwhelmed by emotions. It feels so good to be a permanent. Okay, guys, I think I need a minute. Okay, you guys, I'm happy. I'm really happy. I'm really happy, and I'm crying tears of joy. I just cannot believe it. Some part of me still cannot believe it. I'm still not yet settled on it yet, especially after I got the denial. I'm just like, is it true? Like, somebody wake me up. Am I dreaming? I'm a permanent resident. You guys don't understand. You guys you don't understand. You don't understand. And when I say you don't understand, you do not understand. Okay, guys. I don't know how to end this video. I just feel like I'm just gonna be crying and crying. I don't really know what to say, because everything I say just make me cry. And guys, I'm not sad. I'm just so happy and overwhelmed. And guys, you're the first people I've told. I haven't told anybody else. Nobody knows. Guys, I think I need a minute. I think I need a minute to end this video. We are permanent residents, you guys, and I told you that I will keep updating you. Okay, I don't know why I'm crying when we should be celebrating, you guys. Maybe in my next video we should be now celebrating, but this news is just still too new for me, and it's really overwhelming. And I think I'm learning to accept my new country. You know, I'm now Canadian, you guys. I can go to Nova Scotia, I can go to Nunavut, I can go to New Brunswick, I can go to Newfoundland and Labrador and live there as a resident. I can go to Manitoba, I can go to Quebec. Nobody's stopping me, you guys. I am a permanent resident. Me meaning permanent. Hey. Yo, this is the only permanent status I've ever had in my life. And I thank God. You guys, I don't know how to end this video, but I just want to say thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. I can see you in my next video.